السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه من اتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Inshallah, we continue today with the story of Prophet Musa. We'll do a quick recap on what we discussed last time. So last thing we mentioned, we said that the Pharaoh was a tyrant individual who lived in Egypt and ruled the children of Prophet Yaqub, who continued to live there after Prophet Yusuf. If you remember, we said his brothers lived there, and then we said that he took advantage of them and enslaved them, making them work for him, mistreating them, and he ruled his country, telling people that he is a god, right? That he is their Lord. There is no Allah; it is Him. So what the Pharaoh continued to do was, one day he had a dream, and in his dream he saw that that his city is under destruction, and he asked around for somebody to interpret this dream for him. And the interpretation that he received was that there is a child that's going to be born in this year that is going to take his whole kingdom. So the Pharaoh, because of this, decided to order his soldiers to take every newborn child that is born on this year, and to have them all killed. And that's what he did. His soldiers would take the children and kill them. Now, during that time, the Prophet Musa, we said, was born, and his mother protected him, took him, and tried to keep her pregnancy a secret. And Allah inspired to her for his protection, for him to live, to place him in the river, or to place him in the water. So that's what she did. And she had his sister follow the baby to make sure to find out where he ends up after this. And he ends up right by the castle of the Pharaoh, which is something that she did not anticipate. Okay, so the person who ends up taking it is the wife of the Pharaoh. She ends up taking the baby to take care of him. And she tells the Pharaoh that she wants to keep him. She wants him to be her child. So that's exactly what they're gonna do here now. The Pharaoh accepts, and he's going to keep the child. They're gonna keep him as a son, not knowing that this is the child that the Pharaoh have been trying to kill all along. They try to give Prophet Musa, as we mentioned, people who would breastfeed him and take care of him, like a woman that would come and breastfeed Prophet Musa, but he would not accept any of the women. Allah decreed for that. So the sister of Prophet Musa came in, and she said, "I know someone that can breastfeed him for you." So the Pharaoh and his wife accepted, and then they sent for the soldiers to go to get his mother. So that's exactly what they did. They get the mother from her house. They bring her back. She started to breastfeed him, and this here is the blessing of the mother of Prophet Musa. Breastfeeding her own child. Allah is returning back to her. Okay, so now what's going to happen with the child now that he's growing up in the house of the Pharaoh? He's taking care of him during that time. And he's growing up to be a good person, strong built, well-built person. He's learning different things. He's becoming a young man. until one day Prophet Musa is passing by and he finds a person from the children of Prophet Yaqub, from the tribe basically, being beaten by one of the Egyptians. And the Egyptian was harming him for no reason. So Prophet Musa gets involved and tries to stop this fight or this problem. But the Egyptian, he ends up striking this Egyptian, which caused this person to die. His strength was, he had very strong. He was able to, he killed this person, even though he did not intend for that, like we mentioned last time. And this now going to lead Prophet Musa to hear that he's wanted and they want to capture him. So then Prophet Musa is, after he hears that people are looking for him and they want to capture him, is going to go on a run, traveling outside of the city, so he can be protected. So when he goes out, he ends up in he keeps running, going away. He ends up in and he sleeps on a road, and he continues on his journey until he ends up at a city. So when he goes to that city, Prophet Musa, as he's resting under a tree, he sees these two women taking care of sheep. Okay, and these two women trying to standing somewhere where there are a bunch of men also standing by the well to get water. So Prophet Musa wants to help them. So what Prophet Musa wants to help these women. So he asked them, what's the problem? They say, we're trying to get water, but there's many men and we don't want to go there. So Prophet Musa goes and gets the water for them and helps them. So these women, they go back to their father, and they tell their father that we have this person who helped us get water. So the father of the girls, he asked them to go and get this person so he can reward him for what he did. So one of them goes to Prophet Musa, and she asked him to come with her because her father wants to thank him for what he did. So Prophet Musa goes back, he sits with the father, and then the father thanks him for what he did. So Prophet Musa, now the father makes an offer to Prophet Musa, tells him that I want to give you one of my daughters in marriage, and in exchange I want you to work for me for 8 years, and if you complete 10 years of working, then this would be extra from you. So Prophet Musa agrees to do that. So he ends up marrying one of the two girls, and he stays working for the father for 8 years. He actually completes the whole thing, not just the 8 the father, the minimum that the father wanted. He stays for the whole 10. So Prophet Musa, working for him, doing whatever jobs that the father wants. After the period is over, Prophet Musa have decided to take his wife, take his family, and return back to his country, to Egypt. So as he's going back, Prophet Musa, and they're camping in a way, Prophet Musa sees a fire. And this is something strange. So Prophet Musa goes towards this fire, and as he's going towards it, now until he came close to it, he hears a voice, and the voice tells him, "Take off your shoes, O Musa. You are in the sacred valley of Tuwa." And Prophet Musa takes off his shoes, and he comes in towards the fire. So when he comes in towards the fire, When he comes in towards the fire, Prophet Musa ends up hearing this voice continue to speak with him, and tells Prophet Musa, throw your stick. Prophet Musa had a stick that he used to walk with. So the voice tells him, I am your Lord, I am Allah, right? And tells Prophet Musa, I have chosen you to go and call the Pharaoh. He had done so many bad things, to call the Pharaoh back to Allah and to free the children of Prophet Yaqub from this city and from this man. So the Prophet Musa is, surprised by this, and he's like, how can I do that? This is a difficult task. So Allah is comforting him and tells him, throw your stick, put your stick down. So Prophet Musa does that, and then his stick will turn into a snake. And he tells him, take your hand out right from next to you, and then his hand is shining light, right? So Prophet Musa, when he sees that, he obviously realized this is real, and I'm speaking to Allah, this is real. So Prophet Musa makes a request, and he tells that I am not very eloquent in speech, so can I have somebody to support me, okay, to come with me and support me? Can I have my brother with me? He has a brother named Harun. So can Harun be with me to support me when I go call this Pharaoh to Islam and stuff? So Allah agrees, and he tells him that go, and I am with you. I will see and I will hear everything you do, right? Meaning I'm with you to support you. And that's exactly what's going to happen with Prophet Musa when he goes to his journey. We're going to pause here, inshallah. We're going to continue next time, the third segment of this important story. Now, some of the lessons that we see here happen with Prophet Musa is that his generosity, we see how even though he's in such a difficult situation, Prophet Musa is wanting to help people. I want to be there for people. He's very tired. He's been traveling this whole distance and is sitting down tired. But he sees people needing of help, like these two women. Then he goes and helps them. And you see, in exchange, Allah is rewarding him, right? In exchange, Allah reward them with a place to stay and food to eat and a woman to marry. So things starting to light up for Prophet Musa a little bit here, after he was a fugitive running away from the law after what happened in Egypt. So now we also see here the excellence of Prophet Musa. Like the father of his wife asked him 8 years, but if you complete 10 years, that's from you. And Prophet Musa goes above and beyond. He does the extra, right? You want me to do 8, I'll do the 10, right? He goes above and beyond, right? And that's how we should be. Do the best job we can do in whatever that we do. The Prophet ﷺ had told us this, that the perfection of anything that we do, it doesn't have to be just religious stuff. Anything that we do, we try to do our best in it, and there is a pleasure of Allah in that. And of course, we see that when Prophet Musa, as he's going through his testing, now Allah is choosing him, right? And the support that he asked of Allah. And you see here how Allah supports his prophet. You say, I'll be with you. Yes, you can have your brother with you. So you see how Allah supports his prophet, because he's ready to submit to Allah. So Allah is rewarding him. Allah is there for him. Allah is supporting him. And same thing for us, right? Submitting to Allah will get us this help and support of Allah. Okay, inshallah, we're going to pause here, and we'll continue with the third segment next class, inshallah. Subhanakallah.